How do I do it all? The Brezza gives me the power.
Contributions across the board for the Mumbai Indians. 40s from Ryan Rickleton and Suryakumar Yadav, but more tellingly, a half-century for Tilak Varma and quick runs at the end from Dhir as they finish with 205 for 5 with 51 runs in the last 4. How good is that total, and could it be enough to hand Delhi Capitals their first defeat of the season? Let's find out on Maruti Suzuki Arena presents ESPN Cricket for Timeout in the continuing company of Piyush Chawla, Wasim Jaffer, Matt Roller this Sunday evening. Good evening again. I'm back for a bit.
Good evening.
And if I have got my notes right, you come closest with your 210.
Yeah, I said 210. So good effort by me.
Solid, solid. I'd give you a medal if we had one here.
I'll take it later. Thanks.
All right. Noted, producers. But thoughts on the score and the pitch, because it's not like the Kotla that was seeing an average first innings total of 235 last season, Wasim?
I think it looked a good pitch. I think MI will feel they are probably 15-20 short, I would say. They were well on course, but I think the spell from Kuldeep Yadav, getting Ryan Rickleton out and then getting Surya out, those two wickets, dented their hopes, but they recovered well with, brief and, entertaining knock from Dhir. But I still feel they are 15-20 short.
Yeah, it feels like an innings with lots of pieces to unpack, but let's go there since Wasim has pointed it out. Because 13 overs, 135 for 2. You're thinking 7 overs with the might of the MI middle order could be 80, 90, maybe 100 runs. But those next 3 overs, Piyush, 2 for 19.
Well, you expect when, you're playing on that kind of a surface, on Firoz Shah Kotla, small boundaries. So you expect in 7 overs, you fancy your chances to get 85, 90 runs in 7 overs with 7 wickets in hand. But you have to give a lot of credit to Vipraj and Kuldeep, the way they bowled. They bowled with a big heart, small ground, but still he was tossing it up. And the best part was at the pace which Kuldeep was bowling at. And that really helped the Delhi scores.
Yeah, 2 for 23 and a 200 plus total. Every game he keeps producing this. Every game he tends to strike big in the 14th over.
Yeah, I really like how Axel's used him actually, holding those last 2 overs back for the 14th and 16th. I think it must be so tempting as a captain when you've got a gun spinner like that to get them into the game straight away after the power play and bowl them through, but he's held them back those last couple of overs every time and it's paid off really nicely. I think PC's right as well to point out Vipraj. Yeah. The figures probably don't quite show how well I thought he bowled, particularly a couple of leg breaks beating the outside edge of Surya.
And really as you point out, that tough 5th over in the power play, they've got a start and he gets the wicket of Rohit Sharma and gives 2 runs.
Well, he's bowling really well, as I said. And it's not an easy job to do, and especially for a wrist spinner who's new to this league. And he's doing that really well. And not only about that over, in middle over also, as Matt mentioned, sometimes your analysis doesn't define how you bowled. I feel he bowled really well today as well.
Yeah. You imagine he will enjoy life at the Kotla, which has been challenging?
Well, today if you see the wicket, there was some spin for the wrist spinner. If you have that skill to spin the ball, you can get something out of this surface. We saw Kuldeep getting Rickleton out, and then even when he got Suryakumar Yadav out, that ball also spun a bit, and you need only this much of turn. You don't expect a turner in a white ball game, and especially in T20 format. You need a wicket where there is a bit of help if you have the skill. It's not that I'm not a fan of those wickets where anyone come and just put their finger and ball starts spinning. If you have the skill to spin the ball and you get that help from the surface, then it's a challenge.
You mean you like the Kotla of 2024-25 a lot more than the Kotla of, say, 2014-15?
Well, the first game today, you can't say, like last year it was way too flat, but today, for the first game, it looked little better.
Point taken. Now, let's see the MI batting efforts, and let's start from the top, Wasim. Rohit Sharma, 18 of 12. There were a few streaky boundaries in that, and all told, 56 runs in 5 innings. It's not really working for him.
Yeah, it is. But he looked in good touch. I mean, he still, there was streaky 6 behind the stump to Stark, but there was a good cover drive, and it looked like, Rohit Sharma might find form and get a big one. Not a big fan of him using slog sleep, especially on this small ground. He could have easily targeted straighter boundaries, so he'll feel that he's missed an opportunity to score big today.
There's an interesting change in plan when that first wicket fell? Because we haven't seen Suryakumar Yadav at number 3 too much, have we?
No, it was an interesting change. You obviously end up with Will Jacks on that sort of greasy pole down the order and ending up batting outside the top 6 for the first time in his T20 career, just with a 1-ball cameo at the end. I think MI are still working it out on the fly, is what it seems to be from what we've seen so far. And we can get on to Surya's innings, but I thought an interesting one. You know, we mentioned in the pre-show, and I think Waz and PC both pointed out the fact that he's been playing a lot on the leg side. That trend very much continued today.
Yeah, I will ask you to bring those numbers in just a bit, but Wasim, your thoughts first on a stint from Surya which looked far from comfortable.
Yeah, it did. And, you know, for a guy like him to bat at 140 strike rate after batting as many balls as he did, you would expect a lot more on a wicket like that, on a ground which is not the biggest. So, yeah, I mean, that trend continues where he only targets leg side boundaries. And again, when he tries to go offside, he gets out. So, again, puts a little bit of doubt for him to go offside, because that's not the strength of his to strike on the offside.
Point us to the skew.
Yeah, so it was 4 singles on the offside and then 36 out of his 40 runs on the leg side. So someone we consider to be, you'd think of him as a 360-degree player, but he's barely been 180 at the moment.
We saw that in the last game as well. It was 28 of 26 in a 200 chase against RCB at Wankhede, which is also a good batting surface. Is this one-dimensional nature, even if only for a few innings, allowing teams to plan better to stop Surya?
Well, that happens, as a team when you sit down and discuss about a particular batter. So if they'll also be watching and they know what he's targeting and they're putting the fielder. I remember that game where Sai Kishore has put the fielder back there, and no matter how many sweeps he tried, every time it was going to the fielder. So teams have started planning it. So Surya is we know what kind of a talent he is. He needs to find another way to get those boundaries apart from those square leg and mid-wicket area.
There is also the element of the aura that surrounds a batter. Like, consider what's happening with the Nicholas Pooran right now, where he walks in and bowlers deviate from their best laid plans. Surya was that batter for a lot of years. Is it fair to say the last 6 odd months, where the runs were drying even in the T20 eyes for India, is maybe making bowlers find their confidence a little more when they bowl to him?
I think so. I think that fear factor has come down slightly, I would say. And bowlers are bowling a little tighter lines to him. They're bowling in that channel just, 4th stump, 5th stump or even 6th stump line, because he's not looking to hit bigger shots down the offside. So he need to, come with plan B. Just the way he bats, just the way he's, has his stance, which is so open, makes him a little difficult for him to go towards offside, I feel.
Yeah, things were slowed down a bit through that middle passage where Surya was finding it a little hard to up his gears, but he had Tilak Varma for company and he was only batting one way, Piyush. And this is back-to-back half-centuries. After that Lucknow game, clearly the retired out is well past him.
Well, he's a quality player. We all know that. And it's not that he's doing this for the first time. He has done for the franchise. He has done for the Indian team, batting at number 3, getting those 100 in South Africa. And that form still continues. And if you see today also the way he batted, at one point of time when the MI lost 2 quick wickets, so it looked like they might not be able to reach 200 also. But he made sure that the momentum is with MI and he keeps going in the same way. And cameo from Naman also helped that, and that partnership really worked out well.
Yeah. And the breakdown of how Tilak has gone about, took down Aksar in that 1 over he was facing him.
Yeah, just a really good boundary hitting innings as well, 6 4s, 3 6s, and I think MI scored a lot of boundaries, I think 30 plus in the innings, 21 4s and 10 6s, so wasting absolutely no time. I thought Naman's cameo at the end was very impressive as well. He's obviously floated up and down the order to the team's needs this year, and really put a lot of pressure on Mohit Sharma at the end.
How big a moment could that dropped catch of Tilak be? 24 of 11 at the time, when Stubbs and Jake Fraser-McGurk didn't quite get their communication right.
Well, we'll find out after the game how much difference will it make.
At the moment, Piyush, that moment it allowed them, and that was not the only time Delhi had a miscommunication on the field.
Well, yeah, you want to get a batter like Tilak out as soon as possible because the way he's batting, and that time also he was like 24 as you mentioned on 11 balls. But I still feel that Mumbai is 15 odd runs short. Which is a sentiment both of you share. So that will be interesting to note in the second innings.
quick thoughts on Naman Dhir and just coming in. There's the versatility, of course. He had that knock at number 3 earlier in the season, but what stood out today?
I think it's just stability of his at the crease, the way he stays still and targets different areas. He scoop the ball, he can hit down the ground as well, can play sweep, and he possesses power. He can easily clear the boundary. And I'm happy that he got some runs because he must be under pressure because he came with a decent price tag, and he's a very good fielder. Can contribute with the ball as well. But I'm happy that he's got some runs. It's very unusual position for him because generally in domestic cricket he bats at number 3. But good that he's found some form.
Anything Delhi could have done differently, or can you be satisfied with this effort given the conditions?
Well, from Delhi's point of view, if you see, we were expecting 220, 225, so they'll be happy with this one because, as we say, like keep saying for the Firozshah Kotla that it's a small ground, there is a lot of runs has been scored, so 205 you'll take it any day.
It'll be really interesting to see what MI do with the impact sub in the chase. They've obviously gone pretty seam heavy with the side they've picked. Santner's not had a great season so far compared to the form that he's come into the IPL with. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see exactly what they go for. You'd think Ashwani Kumar might be the guy they go for, but yeah, intrigued to see after a first innings where spin was on top.
Who are you considering? If you're looking at the bowling option MI can bring, there's Ashwini Kumar, but there's also Karan Sharma on the bench.
Well, I feel Karan Sharma will come in because obviously they must have watched it from the bench that there was some help for the wrist spinners, and looking at the batting order, what Vipraj and Kuldeep has done. So I think Karan Sharma would be the better option.
And Wasim, your thoughts on who you would be looking at, especially considering you only have Mitchell Santner as the outright spinner, who's not had the best start to the season?
I mean, Karan is a tempting one because you need a wrist spinner if, Santner goes for runs. Being a lone spinner, there's nobody they can turn to. So I mean, I would have probably liked Vignesh in that lineup as well, where they could have chosen a left-arm wrist spinner. But since he's not there, I only see Karan probably is the only guy they can turn to.
All right, just going to read out Ryan Rickleton's comments from the flash interview during the innings break. Says definitely a good total. I thought it was a bit sticky up front. Rohit was able to get a few away early to ease some pressure off us. Naman and Tilak batted phenomenally. Nice to get one on my legs early on to get the confidence going. Hopefully it doesn't change too much. Not a lot of dew out there. And from what I've heard, the nature of this wicket is a bit slow and low. Do we agree with that?
Well, looking at today's wicket, you generally don't see that much of spin as well, even for the wrist spinners, but it was there. And if it gets slower with the game progresses and there's no dew, so I think that will be a competitive total then.
Do you think it's the sort of one where it might get a bit better under lights?
Well, they also batted under lights only, so I don't think so. It won't make much of a difference if there is no dew then.
So usually it doesn't in Delhi.
Well, dew is something which you can't really predict. Sometimes you get heavy dew, sometimes there's no dew. So that is because it rained couple of days back, so might be still a little bit overcast. So that could be the other reason that you might not see any dew.
All right, not expected today is what I've been reliably informed. We're still waiting for the chase to begin. Does the nature of this target dictate that KL Rahul should be opening the batting, or would you rather have him at 3?
Open the batting, I would say.
Yeah, I think if Faf is not around, he should be opening the batting because to chase 205 odd runs, you need a solid foundation. So you need somebody like Rahul in the man in form.
All right, apologies. I should have noticed earlier. It is Abhishek Porel who's opening with Jake Fraser McGurk. KL Rahul, you could have thought with the size of the chase here.
Yeah, maybe it's a left-right thing is the idea. Try and keep things flexible on that front. They might want to delay Santner's introduction and try and have the left-hander in. I think Fraser McGurk, given how damaging he's been at this venue, striking at 274 in last year's IPL on home soil, I think he's got a huge hand to play in the chase. And I think the other factor, of course, is at what point MI decide to introduce Jasprit Bumrah.
Will be fascinating to watch. Let's tuck into predictions. Piyush, who's winning this?
Well, it's a competitive score, I would say. So it's very difficult to predict, to be very honest. So I'm going 50-50.
No. You don't get to do that. Not if you won the medal.
Mumbai.
And now you have seen one ball.
Mumbai.
And Deepak Chahar has got Jake Fraser McGurk out with the first ball of the innings.
I'm backing Delhi to chase.
Wow. Wasim Jaffer is not influenced by ball number 1.
I am influenced by ball number 1, and I reckon MI will close it out thanks to a Bumrah masterclass.
Bumrah masterclass. We've been waiting for that, haven't we, for a long time. All right, I can inform you that it's 66% to Mumbai before the first ball, as per ESPN Cricket 4 forecaster. I don't know how much that will change after the first wicket, but well, it's a different start. Okay, it is 71% already after ball number 1. Wasim Jaffer is backing Delhi. The two of you with MI. Let's see how it pans out. We'll be back at the end of this game to revisit what is such an important game. Delhi could make it 5 out of 5. Mumbai are searching for a rare win this season. Be sure to join us at the end of the game on Maruti Suzuki Arena presents ESPN Cricket 4 Timeout.
How do I do it all? The Brezza gives me the power.